Good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing tonight? Welcome once again to IncrediChat. We're got a cool guest tonight. We're going to talk acting. We're going to talk about creativity, and we're going to talk a little bit of Gotham. And right now we're just working some technical kinks out, but we're going to figure out Instagram Live in a minute. But while we're doing that, let's welcome to tonight's show, Phil Eichinger. Did I say that right, Phil?
Yeah, you did, man. What's up, everybody? And both worlds, or wherever we're looking, camera one, camera two, camera one.
Dude, are you live on Instagram right now? Does it say that?
I believe I am, man. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yes, I am.
I'm looking to see if I got that on my feed yet.
All right, cool.
Anyways, Phil, welcome to tonight's show. If we get the Instagram up and running in a minute, we'll do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, welcome to tonight's show. I know we've been communicating off and on for a little bit here. Yeah, it's awesome stuff. I don't see you live yet.
Do I have to press an extra button?
Yeah, press start. Did you start live at the bottom?
Oh, sorry, I did. Sorry, folk.
Technical difficulties. This is the world of technology. Sorry, but we want to entertain everybody tonight. Or you know what, Phil? What I'll do is I'm going to go live.
Go for it, man. Yeah,
I'm going to go live, and then what you can do is then you can just hit to you'll see me go live in a second.
Yeah.
We're checking connection here, and then you can just request to join, and then all of our folks over there on the Instagram market. Everybody sees my house there. Okay, there I am here. Do you see me live on there?
Got
Phil?
you. Yeah.
Request to join.
Request to join. Send request. There you are.
There you go. Did you?
All right.
And you request and go live with Phil. All right. Cool. Here we are. We are. I guess you're gonna come in a minute.
Here I am.
You're on there yet?
I am here.
All right, cool. There it is. Hey, Instagram. And we got a couple of people already watching us over here. So
awesome.
If you could turn the volume down on that there.
I did. Yeah.
Good. All right. Anyways, so welcome, Phil. Cool. We got people are watching. And guys, listen, if you're watching us here on Facebook and YouTube or watching us on Instagram, check out phileichinger.com and certainly like and follow Phil over on Instagram and like and follow Incredicon on Instagram as well.
Definitely.
So, cool. Welcome, everybody. So, Phil, thank you for joining us tonight. So, you've got a great online presence, and we connected through comic shops and the world of Gotham. But before we even get into Gotham, can you tell us a little bit about like yourself and your, I guess, evolution, your entryway into becoming an actor?
Oh, it's beautiful. So acting is like a second career for me going in. I played a little bit of semi-professional hockey, and I kind of fell into a league that wasn't so great, and I didn't want to keep continuing doing these gong show minor league hockey teams. So I came home. I ran a baseball card shop for a few years. This is way after graduating college. So at that time, I took a community college acting class just for shits and giggles. And the professor was like, you should go do this. You should go audition. I'm like, what the hell is that? He says, you go, blah, 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 blah. So I went to start audition, and I just started booking everything I was kind of auditioning for. And the first huge contract I got was a 9-month theater contract, an educational tour. And as soon as I got that, I'm like, all right, this is my career. I want to progress every year. And that was 2006. So I've been a professional actor since that moment of that 9-month contract, and no turning back. That's in a nutshell.
It's just funny. I'm seeing like we got a hashtag Detective Culpepper. And the echo guys, we turned down the thing. Hopefully that echoes a little bit better. And Movie Junk says Phil is the man. So I don't know who
Movie Junk. Thanks, dude. I was talking to you today. Awesome.
Nice. So Phil, what was really like what was it? I mean, you did sports, you ran a sports cards shop. What was it that really got you? Like you say, it's like your second nature. What gave you that acting bug?
It was, I saw a play, Glenn Ross, kind of at the time I was running that baseball card shop. I think it was like 2004 or 2005-ish. And it was just along that, I was like, this is pretty awesome. I want to know what it takes to do that. And So like I told you, I just kind of ended up taking that class, and things progressed from there. It was kind of like go in all the way. Usually how I do all my work is just head first and just dive into it and just dedicate myself and to become great at what I do and just progress with credits and just my career.
Gotcha. What was your first? I mean, obviously, after you saw Glenn Ross, that's a tongue twister, right? After you saw Glenn Ross, what was like you probably did a lot of like local theater and theater in school and stuff like that. What was your first? I mean, do I talk about your first role?
Yeah.
In that way, or
that's a good way, because I didn't go to school for acting. I went to school to play hockey and for fine arts. You know, your hands-on art. So that's what my degree is in. And to find that combination in a college, a very good hockey school, and then an art department was very unique in its own way. But I was able to, earning a degree and playing and having a really good college career. But on that note, so like I said, it was I just kind of dove into a few community theaters in 06. The Brookdale Community College is where I took that acting class. So the first play I did was One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And I played Dale Harding, which was a very, very awesome role. So that was my first acting role, was Dale Harding in Cuckoo's Nest at Brookdale Community College. And after that, it was one other community theater show, and then it went to kind of professional, not union right away, but it picked up.
You know, and it's you know, I love hearing stories like that too. You know, I when I'm not doing Incredicon and IncrediChat and you know my comic book world persona, I'm an assistant principal out of school myself.
Whoa.
So I'm always talking to young people. And, you know, like the story you just shared, this is something that I share with people. And it's not just about acting. It's really with any profession. When you go to college, you know, a lot of people go there with one thing in mind.
Yeah.
And you're exposed to so many other things. And I mean, and your story, we've heard it from so many other actors too, is like people going, oh, I'm going to be a lawyer. And then all of a sudden they're an actor, you know?
Yeah. I mean, you know, hockey was my life for, 25 years. So I was really giving my all to that while earning, an art education. So, and we see, things take paths down different roads. So yeah, I am extremely happy in this career. It's, it has its ups and downs like everything, but I really enjoy when things are going well and things come into my world. It's just really fun to create and entertain and just create your own content and just be able to be confident doing that.
Yeah. Now let me ask you. You said fine arts.
Yeah.
With the fine arts, were you more into like the visual arts, or was it always performing arts?
No, it was never performing arts. So I was like painting, drawing. That's what my degree was in.
Oh wow.
So like I said, it was just that aftermarket acting class I took that kind of took me off. But no, it was all painting, sculpting, everything that was, the hands-on kind of art. Yeah, that's what my degree is in.
Wow. And that's just great because, like, I mean, not only was acting like it wasn't your first choice, it wasn't even your second choice.
Oh no, it was hockey, art, yeah, yeah, because some of the paintings behind me, that's all kind of my stuff. So
nice. You know what? Talking about fine arts, let me give you the full screen if you want to show us a little bit of what you have there, and you can talk about that a little bit too. I mean, maybe not everybody has seen this, but yeah.
Oh boy, that's gonna be well. Let's see how I can finagle this up. So behind me right here is I'll move out of the way, is my big painting of Little. It's like an oxymoron painting, and it's very big, but that's the joke. Little is a bigger word. And then down there, I can't really pan that way, is a little painting of big.
That's
so it's kind
funny.
of just, yeah.
And what's that over your shoulder?
It's kind of like one of those like old school puppets, like that puppet boxers.
Oh.
I did this play on this little guy, and it's small. You see, it's just kind of like on canvas, mixed media, And yeah, I don't want to go too far out of frame. I kind of like this framing right now. We don't want to ruin suspense for, you know, people watching. I want to show everything right away.
No, but listen, I mean, gosh, I didn't even realize that part of it with you, but my God, that's really cool.
It's some serious U-turns and some serious, you know, paths that I took to become an actor.
Gotcha. Now let me ask, as an actor, what do you think some of the you know, and because we do have some young people who tune in from time to time.
Okay.
As a young person getting into acting, like, what are some of really the tricks of the trade? You know, like what do you recommend for people who want to get into acting? Like, I mean, obviously, like, you know, probably, you know, and there's a big difference between live theater and television, but like improv, stuff like that. Like, what works for you?
I could sum it up for just people starting out. Do everything you can and don't say no to a job, because you're going to grow and progress into this profession and you're going to have more no's than yeses at one point. So just go in, even creating your own content, just you're doing something. So that would be, you know, up there. Create your own content. If you're not getting work, create something to stay active. But at the beginning, go audition, and if you get something, you're going to work for quite a while, quote unquote work, without getting a paycheck, because you have to build a reputation. You got to build some footage and a reel and just credentials. So it's kind of just do it. If you're going to do it, just say yes to stuff, because there's going to be a day that you're going to get no. It's a business of no's.
Over on Instagram, the Team Rocket company, they said, listen to this man, he's got it. So obviously they speak some volumes. And you know, like you really do bring up a good point. And you always hear a lot of actors, people ask them, oh, what was your favorite part that you played? And you know, or what was your favorite job? And a lot of actors will always say the next one.
Yeah, right.
because
yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, because you, as an actor, I mean, and from people who I know, and even talking to you, you know, you can't rest your laurels in just that one thing. You know, a TV show comes to an end, a commercial shoot comes to an end, a theatrical performance comes to an end at some point. So you always got to keep reinventing.
It sure does.
So I'm just like looking.
I know there's a lot of fun things happening
here, which is good. I'm sorry.
I'm seeing some cool things too. Yeah. Some fun things.
Hello, Kellyanne, or Kelly. Yeah, Kellyanne 221, and Frankie Fontana says your voice sounded mighty deep there. So
that's my cousin. What up, Frank? What up, Juice? Awesome. He's out in Pennsylvania. That's cool. Good.
Nice. So let me ask you before we get into television, right? I mean, so theatrically, so One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. You've been in a bunch of different things.
Yeah.
How do you feel? How do you think? Or how do you feel that playing, being in a performance on stage? I mean, how does it differ from being in front of a television camera? And B, because there's, I mean, I think there's a lot that you take.
Cut. That's what's different, right? That you could stop. You could stop and tell someone what to do. I mean, I was just, you know, that's the first thing, you know, all right, can you go, just stop right now, guys, do it this way. And there's no way of coming back in theater. You got to just barrel your way through a scene and the moment and just listen and react. That's the biggest note I've ever gotten in my class. And I hold to that, you know, when something live happens, or, you know, even on screen or television, it's listen and react, but you have to do that live, even if it goes down a wrong path. Just believe it. Just be committed to your scene with your partner, and just go with it. I mean, there's been a bunch of instances that on my side and the other side that you just have to make sure you're not waiting. What do you got to say next? No, you just fucked up. I can't say what I got to say now. But it's just being present and but is the energy and the rush from live theater is, I mean, obviously nothing beats that in the entertainment world. You're up there, you know, and you're just delivering a performance, and it's silent and it's cool. But I love both worlds for completely different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, your first TV role, that was on which show?
White Collar.
White Collar.
Yeah.
What was it like? So you as an actor coming, I mean, White Collar was a great show, and I mean you've been on other shows like Law and Order, and obviously, like I said, we'll talk about Gotham. But
okay.
what was it like now? Being on that TV that television set for the first time, because I mean, it must be very overwhelming as an actor to like. I mean, and even just a smaller part on a show to like be on the set, you're like, wow. I've hit the big time kind of thing.
Yeah, and you also got to remember, for people that don't know the business, every role was written into a script for a reason, regardless if it's one line or it's a principal that has no lines. There's a reason the writer wrote in. So there's no small parts. Everything has its reason to be in a show. So an actor, you're fortunate to get anything. I just wanted to. You get a 1-2 line, you accept that and you take it, whether it has a name of Rick. Or it's just like, passerby who says, fuck you. There's a reason why that, because it could be a reaction from the lead. But with that said, White Collar was a funny story. It was one of those auditions that I went in the room and just botched it. I walked out, I'm not going to fucking get this. And, I think I got the call on the bus ride home. At the time, I was living a little bit further south in Jersey. And it happened, happened so quick, like, holy shit, I got it. And then going on set was just cool. I worked opposite Tim DeKay in that scene, and it was, quick and easy. They had me come back an extra day to do some ADR, which is some like voiceover dubbing and things. So, you get paid extra any day they want you back, accept it. So it was just cool. It was a really cool feeling of just being on that set. And it was Tim was nice. It was easy. We had a lot of little fun banter back and forth prior, and and did my job, and you go home. Wait for the next one.
Well, and you bring up a good point too, is like, and especially with some of these episodic programs now, like, you like you said, you may do that one little offline, and they may see they may have some reaction. They may see something from you. The fans may be like, oh my God, for whatever reason, this guy was awesome. You never, like you said, you take it because you never know. Like they might be like, oh, we want to have this guy back on and become a recurring.
Right. And that's kind of what happened with the SVU little bit that I had. It was like just a kind of paparazzi reporter, very, douchey. And he was just relevant in that world of Law and Order, and they brought me back as the same guy for another episode. They were a little like a season apart, but it was the same guy, and that's kind of the reason what you just touched on. It was this guy was a great asshole. Let's bring him back and do it again to the other lead. So that's the good things that come out of just do what you do, be professional on set. Take your notes, take direction, be prepared. And
now let me ask the audition process, like you said with white collar, you kind of just like went in there, you didn't think you got it, you think you messed it up. Generally, what for a show like Law and Order, for White Collar, Gotham, for instance, what are they looking for when you go in and audition?
I'm still figuring that out. There is sometimes I will go out for roles that it's multi-ethnic, so they don't know if they want white, black, Asian. They don't know what they want. Sometimes it's like that. Sometimes it's guys with dark hair, thin, lean, and then you see a bunch of guys like that. But yeah, it's the business is mostly look. It's what you look like. Sure, you got to be great at what you do. You can't be just sitting there, oh, what would you like to do, sir? You got to be an actor, but you also, on any given day, a casting director can be just like, his nose is a little too big for that part, or his hair is parted weird. It is a business of kind of what you look like in the end of being on top of your game.
Yeah, because I can imagine, especially like a lot of these shows, these crime drama shows.
Yeah, unless it's specific, like my hockey and acting. It's a very what's a great word? Like it's a very unique, two unique skills together. So I, when it comes about, like, oh, they're shooting an NHL commercial or something that they need a pro hockey in a TV show, I'm usually going to get an audition for that. or if it's something in Russian and or Italian, I'll probably get an audition for that too. It's, you know, if you have some special skills that'll slip you in all the time, you know, they're helpful.
Yeah, and especially like in one of these like cop shows, if you will, you know, these like you said, they don't know what they're looking for, what like whatever clicks, you know, because you know a lot of these people are just everyday, you know, everyday Joes, you know.
Exactly. Yeah, you just don't, especially if it's not a character description. It could be just like, you know, detective. They don't know what kind of detective they're looking for until somebody goes in, delivers. This is my take on it, and they're like, oh shit, didn't think it like that. That's the guy. It's what you bring to the table as well. You got to always be prepared. You make your choice and you move on. Whether it's right or wrong, an actor makes a choice. And if they like it, they'll call you back for another part on another show or movie if they like you. And that's what it is. You book the room, or today you're booking the screen, and you know, with the hopes of them calling you back for the role that's right for, you know, said person.
Excellent. Let me just say, we got a couple people coming in.
Oh yeah, let's see.
Denise says, "Hey Phil."
Hello.
Sarah Jean, we're going to get to your question in a moment. Brendan says Jamie and Brownie are watching with him.
Hey guys from Florida, that's my ex-hockey teammate, my goalie from college. Yes,
and Frankie's saying you're always true and nice. And over on Instagram, Greg from Orange County Collectibles is saying, "Hey Mike, hey, how you doing there, Greg? Thanks for tuning in to tonight." So let's get into you know, really the thing that some people are tuning in for is let's go to Gotham. Let's take a trip to Gotham City.
Let's take a trip there.
when you got the audition for Gotham, I'm gonna say, just a guess, that was just another like heavy in a cop show that you auditioned for. Yes.
Well, it was the third. Let's start off this. It was the third time I auditioned for Gotham for the Culpepper. So the previous role was, I think it was a promo. Would have been like kind of like a half-assed commercial. So I'm glad I didn't get that. The second was, I always forget. I should look it up before my next interview. It was like a circus barker or something. So, you know, just a guy at a circus that was, this is coming up. That passed. Next came in from my agent. Hey, going for this guy. At the time, I had a mustache and my hair was a little bit longer. So usually at auditions, I was kind of like just slicking my hair back. Yeah. And this is not knowing Gotham like we were kind of talking about. I didn't know Gotham was such a, you know, heavy mustachy, longer hair, cops and detectives. So that, I remember that audition. It was, you know, I went in the room. You know, sometimes an actor surveys the room. Other times you just do your thing. I looked around, and this was completely opposite. And I'm not bullshitting. This was completely opposite than white collar. I just felt like I'm going to get this role. I feel it. Just looking around, it was like they didn't know what they wanted, like we touched upon. And I'm like, I feel this guy. So, and just went in, and obviously I did well. I nailed it because I think I got the call from my agent either that night or the next afternoon, because TV works very fast, especially if they're filming. If things are just constant, you know, they're turning over roles and episodes like that to get the next one set. So it was within a day that I got the call, and I'm like, yeah, I booked it. So it was, that puts a little nail on that kind of audition process for Gotham.
Now, what's funny is like, so Gotham, and again, lots of people are excited, and we were talking about this before because it's like, ooh, Batman, right? So, I mean, were you excited that because I know you shared a little, and I think people would be interested to know, were you excited to be a part of a Batman show, or were you a comic book fan growing up?
So no, everybody. I wasn't a comic book fan. Comic books did not take from me like George Costanza in Seinfeld and his shower. The shower didn't take, Jerry. I tried comic books. It didn't take. I maybe read like 2 of them, like Moon Knight or something else. But I was baseball cards and hockey cards. But it didn't take. So all I knew, it was Batman. That's it. I didn't watch. I have never seen one episode prior to being a part of the show. And that's that. It was that simple. Like, I wasn't into it. I never watched it. And I just went on as an actor. Like we were talking about, you get a role and you get excited, you prepare, and you go be prepared. So
let me ask, like, I mean, obviously as a kid, were you ever watching the Adam West Batman as a kid?
Yeah.
Like most of us did?
As a kid, I had a couple Batman t-shirts and obviously some of the figures, and Adam West I watched a lot. Justice League, the cartoon, and
Oh yeah.
of course. But as a teenager, young adult, I gave the comic books a whirl, and I kind of like just, I don't know, tossed them out a fake window behind my back. It just was like, what? No disrespect to comic books. I just, you're whatever, 16, 17, 18. It wasn't getting me like baseball cards were.
Yeah. Brendan says he loves the Seinfeld reference too.
Yeah, Morty.
So I mean, really, and you, like you said, you're starting to come back out into this comic book world. And I mean, people are recognizing you from Gotham. You're out there, at comic shops and doing appearances now. What are you finding as an actor? What are you finding to be probably some of the most interesting interactions that you're having with fans now, as you're meeting them? In regards to Gotham.
Yeah, so
or just anything.
Yeah, I think some of the people, they're very interested, and it's almost like sometimes they stare at you for a little bit, and they look at you and like not sure what to ask you. I'm like, just talk to me. I'm just a person here having a good time, just meeting you, kind of expressing the newfound love that I have for Gotham and the DC comics, because we could touch upon that later. But it's mostly some of the odd things of what people have had me sign. I asked them, hey guys, you sure you want me to sign this Batman Funko Pop? I mean, I didn't create the thing, and some odd comics, and like I didn't write it, or I probably could and draw it, but that's not my field. I didn't go that. But no, you're from Batman, you're from Gotham. It's okay. I'm like, hey, whatever makes you happy. I've been in that position, asking people for autographs, and it's I'm cool with it. Whatever.
What is probably the most unique piece of Batman memorabilia that you have signed?
Oh, it's that Funko Pop Gotham. It was like one of the new ones that came out, and the kid put it. Actually, I don't know if he was a kid. Maybe he was like 20 something. Just put it on the table. I thought he was giving it to me, and I think, oh, you want me to sign it? Okay. I was like, where do and I signed it somewhere up. All right, and that was it. So far, well, we'll see in the future, in a couple of weeks or moving forward, we'll see if anything else. But it's all good. I'm having a good time doing it for reasons we can discuss, and we have discussed. So it's
well. And you kind of alluded to it, like you're just enjoying that interaction with the people, and as an actor, whether it be Gotham or something else, like what you're doing is and this goes for anybody that's even in the art but doing the artwork, like you are you're affecting people's emotions, like you're creating, and like as an artist, like and talk about even the visual arts, like what is your drive to like do this big, the boxing book? Like what got you into that creative art part of it?
I think it was just as a child. I mean, I still have a lot of my drawings as kids.
Oh, wow.
My first Rambo, First Blood, Sylvester Stallone with the headband in crayon. I got some pretty old drawings. I think it was just what I did as a kid. I had a big imagination. Playing, army and things like that, and always like drawing war fields. My dad was in a National Guard, so it was, as a child, that's an interesting thing. You get to go on tanks, then you go home and you create this play world, and then it goes onto paper with drawing, and then I just chose that path in high school to complete arts, and then into college, and still today. I mean, my home is a museum just based on, art and just doing things creatively to your house, and be excited about it.
Yeah. And that's really like a good point that you bring up. Especially like with the visual arts and creative. I have an 8-year-old son too. And, for anybody who's watching, kids today are so inundated with technology.
Yeah.
It's all about YouTube. It's all about video games, and that stuff's all well and good and cool and stuff. But like you said, like you must have some awesome stories and experiences because of what your dad was doing, and like you said, going out there and being on like tanks and then coming home.
Oh, I wrote and produced and starred in a film loosely based on the relationship I had with my father called Garage, and I won a bunch of Best Actor, and I was nominated a bunch of times for that film, and writing as well. and that was a couple years ago, and that was on my site. And that's another funny story about that. One of the comic shops that I did an appearance in, a kid comes up to me and is like, "I love Garage." I'm like, "You saw it?" Yeah, because they must have, with advertising, went to my website, watched it prior to me, attending, and I was just blown away that the kid really liked it, and I was like, "Wow, so I appreciated that, and it was an homage to the relationship I have with my father, and just the things he taught me, and the type of man he was, and how I was brought up, and I just thought it was a good time to do it, and I felt a nice connection to that part, writing that and starring in it.
Yeah, and again, it's like you said, it's about you and your father, but it's a nice story. Phil said, "Garage is outstanding."
That's what's up, Lil Lesher. I call him Lil Lesher. What's up, bud? Yeah, comics didn't take. He knows a lot about my story in comics and Moon Knight.
Well, and the other thing is that you have a new project. I mean, you mentioned Garage, but this new project that you're working on. Tell us a little bit about that. You're doing, well, I guess it's already done, but it's the Artichoke Boy.
Oh yeah, Artichoke Boy. So Artichoke Boy is my first. Here we go about creative. I wanted to challenge myself again. So, last June, the middle of everything, I wasn't giving up. I just wanted to create something. So I have a 5-year-old daughter, and we draw a lot, as I did as a child. We're very hands-on with stuff, so we draw a lot. And just one day, I just did this sketch of this little artichoke, and I wrote on the top of it, "The Adventures of Artichoke Boy." No rhyme or reason. Ripped it off of the pad, put it in the office for a later date. A few days later, she was just walking around the kitchen. "I wish I was a different color. I wish I was the color of an artichoke." I soaked that in. I'm like, "That's freaking awesome." I put that next to the drawing. A week after that, I wrote this script about this child just struggling with the sex, his color, his race, his gender, and just compiled it into this 3-minute short animated film. Did a little research. I hired an animator that I found. He turned my character into what it is on screen. We went back and forth. So it was about a 5-month process of just doing this little 3-minute animated short. And it's currently running in and out of festivals right now. It's getting selected. It's not getting selected. But that's the beauty of creating your own content and putting it out there. There's yeses and nos, right? Like I talked about earlier. So it's just, like I said, it's fulfilling to just create something like that. It was a challenge for me because I've never done an animated film or even attempted to do one. And I just thought this would be the perfect stepping stone of just things that are going on today with children and their struggle in the world and finding their place. And I think it's just a message. It's compact. And that's kind of how I write my films. Very compact and short and sweet and to the point.
Yeah, and the thing, two great things I love about what you just shared. And the big thing is, this last year, everybody was like really, trapped, and for creative people, like I'm loving to see what people are coming up with.
Right.
From that time of quarantine when we were all like stuck in our homes.
Right.
Because folks like yourself.
I loved it. I mean, I had a great time. I mean, I was able to finish my basement, and it's beautiful now. It's where we're at right now. So there's a lot of things that I took mind you, I did audition quite a bit during everything last year. It didn't really stop for me because, companies were looking for, commercials. So you wanted commercials from home, all these companies. So my agents I was always submitting commercials from home, real people from home. Okay. But yeah, so it was just another way of me to show my skills and challenge myself to something that I haven't done, and something that I've produced was the animation field.
And the fact that the inspiration came from your daughter.
Right. Yeah. I mean, kids
like,
say whatever. I say weird things and I'll turn it into something. But when you hear something, just doodling and this is a great little guy, ripped it out and just turned it into something. And then the quote and turned into a whole little film.
Yeah. And I mean, like, truly, kids kind of know what they're talking about. These little people, they know what they like.
They're like lawyers. Yeah, they just persuade you any which way.
So yeah, I mean, I'm assuming you gave your daughter a screen credit for this film.
I didn't, but she is a secret. She's almost 5. I gave her. She is the voice of Plum Babe in it. The little fruit that gets pushed into the pool. That's a little Easter egg for people that have seen it. I didn't tell people about that, but that's her little scream in it.
And like I was seeing, like it has played. Ironically, there was a film festival up here near where I am, up in the Hudson Valley in Carmel, and it was up there.
Yeah, it was there. It was the drive-in, right?
Yeah, I saw it listed. I didn't see it, but I saw it listed. I'm like, when I was doing my research, I was like, oh my God, it was like right up here.
Yes, that's all. Look at that connection we have. Yeah,
I know we've made many connections tonight, folks.
Good for us.
Hudson Valley connections.
Good for us.
So, as you said, this newfound love for Gotham, and like the DC universe.
Let's
get into that. So,
you
were sharing with me you were on Gotham, but you had never watched it. So
right. So yes, I was on Gotham, never watched it, but it was about probably about 3.5 months ago now. I ripped through Gotham. I watched it. I was doing research, everybody, because I recently finished with my partner, Sweat Hog, we call him. He's my writing partner now. We created a Gotham spinoff called Culpepper, loosely based on my character of Detective Culpepper. And I was watching Gotham for research. So what Culpepper is a dark and reimagined rebirth of Darkseid, it ends up becoming. So Charles Culpepper, who I did with the research I found through comic books and things, is Charles Culpepper was a character back in the late 80s, early 90s in this Action Comics Weekly insert. Like every character had a spread. So in this Superman, the 2-page insert of Superman, there was a character called Charles Culpepper, and he was a part of the consortium who was out to just demolish Superman. So we intertwined my character of Detective Culpepper from Gotham. And as I found out, Gotham has a 10-year gap between episode 99 and 100. So our story of Culpepper begins between there. So we see Culpepper eventually leaves the GCPD, becomes this huge head of security, a very highfalutin a bank, and he's the head of security there. The show is very Billions meets Succession-esque. There's no gore, there's no blood. It's my favorite word to describe the show is just very highfalutin, cryptocurrency drama. So we follow him and how he ends up over the course of a season. We find out how he ends up becoming a part of that consortium, and how we end up seeing Darkseid, and then Justin Ballantine, who is the character of Libra. There's a lot of really cool twists and turns that we brought into this. I mean, it's only the pilot episode that's written, 63 pages. Oh, wow. Currently pitching it to people and entering it to like some screen competitions and script competitions. So it's making its way. So hopefully something comes to fruition. So that's why I dusted off Culpepper and Gotham and making appearances and doing all these sorts of things to get word out there, to get some more hype for it, with hopes of it. Because to get a DC pilot looked at, I mean, it's got to be, spot on good, and you got to have the right connections, because a DC show, you got to get it on HBO Max. With Warner Media behind it, so it's a process, just like acting, but it's something that we're extremely happy about. It's solid as a rock, and it was about a 5-month writing process from beginning to end, and I think he and I we just worked well together with my craft of writing, and then the whole idea of cryptocurrency and then theft and then incorporating what DC fans will love. We're loyal to everything. We're right on point. But also no one from Gotham will ever appear in the show because, one, you never know what actors are doing or people that played it are doing now. So you don't ever want to do that unless they're like writing it. So I wrote a DC show that I can play the lead, and it's Culpepper, who ends up being, Charles Culpepper.
Gotcha. Now let me ask, and this is a good question for folks who are watching too, who are interested in writing and creating. So this character is already established from the Gotham series, and like you've kind of taken it, to the next level, dug more into the character.
Because they had nothing to do with each other. What I found in the DC world and then who I played. Just to clear that up.
Yeah. So like that's what I was gonna say. Are there any, I guess, legal challenges for doing something like that? Yeah.
But when you're a writer, you just got to do it. You just got to write, and then just find your ways, your connections to get out there. Mind you, it's hard. I'm a represented actor. I'm not a represented writer, so I don't have a literary agent. So that's on top of that. That's hard. So, but if you just keep doing what you're doing, be happy about making progress. Yeah, we've made progress. We've gotten no's from pretty big people. That's progress, though. That people are at least acknowledging us for what we're doing, and people have to accept that. So there's, like we said, there's going to be more no's than yeses, and there's still connections we have, and we're doing a few more little things, my partner and I, on it. And so it's all good. There's no rush to doing anything in this business. The time will be right when it's ready, but it's there. It's a thing that's, I think it would be happy, and DC fans of this whole world of the DC will just eat it up because of how loyal we are to the characters of Darkseid and the interesting people that we bring in from this just little one-page insert, and the ideas we put behind how to wrap it all into this pilot.
Now, let me ask this question too, and again, this speaks to you as an artist.
Yeah.
Is this something that potentially, I mean, if doesn't get picked up as a TV series or a pilot, have you thought? I mean, and you mentioned animation. Have you thought about even comic book? DC, maybe
I have. I've thought about everything right now, and I think all that could be behind me on back burners, because I don't think there's a no answer for any of that. Sure, if I get some huge DC, artist and or writer to want, hey, I saw this, I'm going to turn it into a comic, but he's actually a DC. Yeah, and then we'll have to go through all the rights like we talked about. But it's something that I'm not going to produce, or because I want it to be network or HBO Max, and I'm at a point that's the things I write. If it's something like that, it's to sell and to get me out there as a series regular. There's a time and a place for that, and then there's a time and a place for like the content that I create and on my own, working when I'm working to work, And I'm gonna ask you this question now as an actor. Yeah. I mean, and a lot of people, I know on our chat, people always ask this question, and like you're already a DC character, and you have plans for this DC character, right?
One question everybody always asks is like, oh, if you could be in a DC or Marvel film, is there like a dream character you would love to play? But you're already playing your dream character, but maybe you have one.
I don't, because I never really watched any of them. So I think Culpepper would be the great role. I mean, in an HBO Max show, it would be beautiful.
Well, let me ask you, outside of the world of comic books and things like that, is there like a dream role, whether it be on film or television or on stage, that you would love to sink your teeth into, and why? Well,
I'm gonna answer that easily. It's not a dream role. It's the word dream is, but we'll use it just for the sake of talking. It would be a dream career of Ethan Hawke. I mean, he's been someone I've watched since '93, and I've just followed him ever since. He just does pretty much everything, like following his footsteps. He writes novels. He writes scripts. He does stage. He writes children's books. This is everything that I have done. Not successful as him, but I have piles of all that media just ready to explode if Phil Eichinger becomes Phil Eichinger, and I have a children's book, I have a children's board book, I have a novel. So it would just be follow his career path, and his choices have always been spot on. And it would have been a great part of my life that, his past show, The Good Lord Bird, I actually auditioned for that show 13 times. And it was I was really hoping, to snag one of them, but the cards weren't set up. So the next one.
Gotcha. No, I mean, I would say he's someone that's like an inspiration to you then, even, right?
Oh yeah. Just to follow and kind of mold or like it's good guideline of, look at him doing this. He's doing this now. Oh, he wrote another novel. Oh, let me see if I can write another novel. Or, oh, he's got a children's book. I got a children's book. So it's, oh, he's playing. He's now in the DC Marvel world. You know, they're doing Moon Knight. They're shooting Moon Knight now, and he's a part of that. So it's almost like he's up here, and I'm like way down here trying to do this, doing the same thing. I'm not saying, you know, we exclude the word try in this business. We're doing. So I'm doing that, and, you know, maybe we'll get on that same field one day.
Nice. Let me ask you too, what is next for you? So you're working on this Culpepper thing.
Yeah.
Where can people, and you got Artichoke Boy. Where can people find out more? What are you working on?
Yeah, so it's the Artichoke Boy. I keep pushing it, and Culpepper constantly do that. Right now, it's just audition. They're all from home now in my studio. I shift it up when it's time. So I have another audition this weekend I have to do for a big Warner Brothers film coming up. So we'll see after that. But other than that, the second leg of my mini in-store comic book shop appearances is in the works. I got one definitely booked. Two is pretty close. So it's, you know, be spread out within the end of this month to August, just to kind of get out there again for at least the summer. I mean, I just returned from Jamaica. That in itself was just, nice. You know, so we're back, kind of getting back into the swing of things of just kind of, you know, just doing what I do and just getting stuff out there.
You know, and certainly, and for anybody, again, you're saying your little Comic Con tour or your comic book shop tour that you're doing. You know, guys, check out PhilEichinger.com as well as on Instagram too, because you will see.
Oh yeah, you might see me
all those places.
Definitely have Philadelphia coming up, so that's one to look out for. And then a few after that, hopefully Virginia, Maryland, and or even Jersey again. I might snag one or two over here in Jersey again.
And that's you know that's a great thing that you're doing too. I mean, you're out there spreading the word about your own career, but the other thing is a lot of these comic shops are small, independently owned businesses, and you coming in there and making an appearance is really helping them out.
And that's kind of what I've been doing. I'm not doing it for the notoriety or anything. It's more about being intimate with these people to talk and just kind of say, hey, you know, I'm a person too. I'm here. I got things to work on. Are you interested? And there's been a lot that have been like, oh, we can't do it now. It's unfortunate. I'm like, I completely understand. But if, you know, down the line, I'm here, you know, if you want some, you know, like I said, I'm not Ben McKenzie or Donald Logue, you know, so it's a different level, but I'm here and available for, you know, to do that because I like doing it. And it's a good approach to getting myself even more acquainted with this world of comic, because it's helpful. It's research just to sit and just breathe in all these comics. Some of them, yeah, they're intimate, but there's copious amounts of comic books, and it's mind blowing. So it's a cool thing just to hear people just talk about it and the show, and being fortunate enough to be on the show, I appreciate a lot more for what I'm doing today with it.
Gotcha. Let me ask you, and this actually goes back to one of the questions Sarah Jean asked. Did you work with Cameron Monaghan on Gotham?
Monaghan? No, I worked with Ben and Donald in the scene, so the two main guys.
Gotcha. Well, let me ask you, and this is not just a Gotham question, just overall. Do you have has there been somebody that you've gotten to work with that was like totally mind blowing and like one of like your best, and any actors in particular?
I know people I didn't like, but we won't get to those names.
We won't talk about that.
No, but usually I'm pretty easygoing when I'm on sets and stage, or, you know, when it's not rolling. You know, I have a good time when necessary. Everybody's always receptive. No one really stands out to me. I had some fun moments with John Stamos on a film a few years ago. That was just funny. Those were just funny moments with him.
He seems like a cool guy anyways.
He was. It was like there was this hockey scene. There comes that hockey again, right? And he knew nothing about hockey. And we were sitting next to each other on the bench, and he was just asking me, like, what kind of good hockey lingo is there? And I kept throwing it. He'd look over at me, and what was that again? What was that? So that was a fun moment that I remember. Other than that, just, you know, no one's blowing my mind. You go to work, you do your thing, you have a good time. When you're working, you're on the same playing field. You know, you're in this business, whether, you know, you got 6 zeros at the end of your check or 4. You're here creating something, that people are going to witness one way or the other, television or stage or Yeah.
And I like that you said that, because really at the end of the day, it is all about the craft.
It is. It's just fun to do, and it's fun to create, and I dig it, man.
No, and that's awesome. I mean, again, you're fortunate that you've gotten to, and again, you've worn many hats, and you've been successful with all of them. But you're fortunate that you've been able to live out your dreams in many different ways and intertwine them into all these different things. Not everybody gets a chance to do that.
Right. I mean, one, you got to be ballsy enough and just have the confidence to do things without any expectations of it, because you just never know what's going to stick. You keep putting stuff out there, and it's things stick on walls.
Yeah. And going back to what you said earlier, probably one of the most important things about being an actor is knowing your craft.
Yeah.
But it really is just being yourself and being a well-rounded human being, because again, that like you mentioned, hockey has come in handy, I'm sure, several times.
Yeah, it sure has. A couple really good NHL commercials with some Stanley Cup winners. There's been a lot of fun things. There's been a lot of close calls, but that's the part of it. And same thing with everything else we touched upon, languages, and they'll keep knocking on my door. Oh, Phil, this is perfect for Phil. This is perfect for Phil. Okay.
Well, the one thing that a friend of mine once told me, it's called showbiz because it is a business. That is the meaning behind it.
Yes, we are a business. I am a business. What do I want people to see me as? What am I putting out there? What's my business plan of me?
Gotcha. Phil, this has been truly awesome tonight.
Yeah,
and I'm glad I got to learn so much more about you too. I had no idea about the fine arts thing. I'm super stoked about that. That's great.
Thanks.
And I mean, certainly, guys, check out the website, check out Instagram. You'll see all that good stuff. Now, let me ask: do you sell prints of your artwork?
Of course, every artist for sale.
All right, good.
Artist for sale, yeah, of course.
So, guys, go and check out.
Ask me for something. I'll do something custom if you have an idea. I work a lot with stencils, acrylics, paints. I do a lot of mixed media. There's nothing I really can't do in the art world. I mean, I've dabbled in pretty much everything there is. I mean, you can look at my house and you just see there's just bits of everything in here, any kind of medium.
Yeah, well, and again, I'm just saying, looking at that background and then you telling us the stories, I love it. I love it. And it's funny too. I'll just say, here on the StreamYard, which we're using for Facebook and YouTube, I'm seeing little in one direction, and then it's so funny, over on it's so weird, the mirror we're
oh yeah I know. I see. You're right.
It's so weird.
It's a whole piece in itself. It's flipped.
Yeah, it's awesome. But no, Phil, this is great tonight. Thank you so much for joining us.
I know this is awesome,
on this,
man.
And guys, again, check out on Instagram and Facebook. Check out Phil's website. Check out and you're on Facebook as well, right?
Yeah.
So Facebook, Instagram, the main website, PhilEichinger.com. Make sure you and follow him on all these
definitely.
Incredicon.
Say hi. If you're a comic shop, touch base with me. We can make something happen.
Brian Watson says the piano is my favorite. What's the piano?
Brian Watson from Maryland. Friends of ours. Piano. Well, I guess we'll end on a fun story. So
sure.
We live in a great little dead end area, and I was in the middle of kind of remodeling my house, and my room above us is kind of like my music. We eat dinner, and there's a piano, there's a drum set table, and the piano we got.
Are you going to tell us that you play musical instruments too?
Yeah, there's a few instruments: God. Piano, drums, guitar, and if you play guitar, you can play a little bit of bass. I'm this close to getting a trumpet too, because I've been getting into jazz a lot and just teach myself trumpet. But anyway, Brian, he's a UPS man, and we joke that he helped us we got a hand truck and we went around the corner. They just happened to be visiting us that weekend. And we ran around the corner. We just put it on a hand truck and we delivered it to my house. And I completely redid the piano, and it's up there, working piano. It's been up there for, 6 years now. And he's a part of that. He was the extra manpower and the UPS. What can Brown do for you? Well, Brian Brown, you did a lot for me that day, buddy.
That's great. And again, you've just amazed us once again, because you play piano and instruments. My God, you do it all.
Yeah,
you do it all. So yeah, once again, everybody watching, please check Phil out, check Incredicon out. We lost the Instagram feed, but that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's okay. We lost it. That's okay. No worries. But yeah, no, guys. And thank you again, Phil, for tuning out. When we end, just hang out tight for a second, and we'll chat.
I will. All right. Thanks, everybody that I knew, I didn't know. You guys are awesome. Thanks for supporting me, family and friends, all the time. And we will, I'm sure I'll hear from a bunch of you after we end here. And hopefully some new people came on board. Just keep in touch, guys.
Cool. And again, folks, next week, tune in. We have next week we have Mitch Hallock from Terrificon. That's a show you should try and get into as well.
Okay.
That's over at Mohegan Sun. But he's with us next week. We're going to be talking about his con. So we'll see everybody on next week for IncrediChat. Have a good night, everybody.
Peace, everybody. Thanks.